Yeah, it's okay. I found the phone. Little drama. Okay.
Using the right lane, make a right turn on 1st Avenue.
Parking mode off. An impact was detected during parking mode.
Red light, camera ahead.
Tayo. What the heck is this? Then get in.
Pick up Dan on the right.
Then get in. Where are you? Yes, Shelly, I'm back. Because I lost my other phone that I found. Shelly, I'm back. Because I lost my other phone. We love you long time. Picking up Dangadin.
Now, the blue states that have been run by liberals. Okay, let's move on. January 6th panel. And thank you again to Steve Bannon for having you on the war room yesterday and being so gracious. Thank you, Steve. You're remarkable. The House Committee investigating the January 6th attack on the Capitol shut down a last-minute request from the former White House chief strategist Stephen Bannon to delay a scheduled vote to refer him for prosecution based on a lawsuit filed by President Trump. But President Trump is from calling his trusted advisors
Pick up Dan on the right.
and others in the executive branch when he was there until the issue of executive privilege is decided. Chairman Benny Thompson, the Democrat, Mississippi, denied the request because the committee's work extremely important and urgent for the nation. No, it is not. It's only urgent for Democrats because it is a political witch hunt, which is all they do. And I'm going to tell you one thing. If they go after Steve Bannon again, what we need to have are activists. Our activists. Give these people no rest. And I want to see...
Head to your drop of a 25813 Pembroke Ave.
It's for Dan, yeah?
Yep.
How you
I'm
doing?
Good.
Welcome back.
Oh.
We're going to
I
Great...
was standing on that street for like half an hour almost.
Yeah,
Yeah, because first I see the price is like a 109.
yeah.
I said, wow, that's very expensive. Let's wait a little bit, maybe prices will drop.
Yeah.
No, they keep going up.
Because rush hour and traffic, and it's not like you're going 10 minutes, you're going for like an hour and a half, you know?
Yeah,
So
I know.
it's go by time, calculate by miles, time, a little bit everything.
I know. But yesterday it's 101.
Yeah.
Yeah, so yesterday I leaving
At the
about
same
like-
time? Same time?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
And then I was thinking, so maybe I wait a little bit to save some money for my school.
Yeah, you know, some days is better than other, but what are you gonna do? The other choice, if you wanna take the subway, I don't know.
That's more dangerous.
That's, you need to have a couple good life insurance. You have holy water on the side. If you need a charger, I'll give you some cable.
No, I'm fine.
You are good, okay.
Yeah,
Good.
I'm fine. I just, price go up,
Oh,
then
this-
even go more.
For the school, they have plenty money. They don't even pay any property. They don't pay any property taxes. Good. You need to get the north. You're gonna go get the north side. Tayo.
16 minutes. In 3 miles, take exit 17, I-278, RFK Bridge, Bruckner Expressway, Grand Central Parkway.
The Blue, that's Thursday, October 21st. Oh no, it's falling tonight. So much more. True connection to real New York on 47 WABC. WABC Talk Radio 77 New York City. That's right, we're here. Give everything. 59 degrees on the outside. Warm and comfortable here on the inside. Tomorrow's temperature's heading up to 78 degrees, low is 58 at night. And you know what, folks? We are enjoying this. We should enjoy this weather. It's coming. It's coming. And thanks to Biz Tax Review article today about the book. I promise you I'm not going to be one of those people that I'm not going to do that. But there was a great article about the book is called Russia on the Radio. Donald Trump has called the $400 million that Facebook spent with their thumb, with their fingers all over the election illegal. And this is what I mean. This is exactly what I mean. In fact, let me find another story. You probably heard it. Here it is. Right here. Hundreds of churches across Virginia air ads with Kamala Harris appearing to violate rules. Now let's get about that. Is that the truth? Have just ignored that, especially when it comes to black churches. So, hundreds of churches across Virginia have political ads in church featuring Vice President Kamala Harris urging the Clinton talked about the toy. The column who says parents have and let them take care of your kids' indoctrination. You have no right. Now, the video advertisement was first obtained by CNN. 300 churches. The vice president is the star in this ad. She's calling McAuliffe the leader Virginia needs at this moment. She starts the ad citing her own experience in church growing up, singing hymns about how faith combined with determination will see us through difficult times. Raise your voice through your vote. This is clearly against the law. It is against the law. Will the IRS go after Kamala Harris? No, the IRS wants to go into your bank account and see how you're spending your money. Never mind Kamala Harris and the Democrats breaking the law again. And then you start talking about election law. If you mention elections and stuff that's against the law, Democrats start accusing you of being a kook, of saying things falsely, of not of trying to undermine the electoral process. That is exactly what they're doing here. Brazenly, in the open, they're giving the American people and Republicans, especially, the middle finger. It's against the law, and we don't care. Your telephone calls are coming up. We're also going to talk with George P. Bush. Stand by. Don't go anywhere. James Golden. 77 WA. So glad you're with us. Don't go away. We'll be right back. There's perspective. You can keep an open mind. And then there's New York perspective. 96 seriously. This is a country in deep trouble. That's the real America. Talk Radio 77 WABC. WABC. Traffic and transit.
The crash on the Cross Bronx West on the Alexander Hamilton Bridge has been there over 2 hours now. Crash on the west side north between the 120s in the right lane and stall on the FDR south at 61st Street in the right lane. Accident on the Whitestone Bridge Bronx down right before the stand at 14th Avenue. That is in the left lane. Pretty bad crash and hot dog on the LIE East at Motor Parkway. 2 left lanes are out. I'm Susie Throne on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Traffic is sponsored by Amtrak. Right now, enjoy the superior comfort of a Acela for as little as $43 one way from New York with Saver fares. Save at Amtrak.com. 14-day advance purchase required. Date restrictions and blackout dates apply. Subject to change and availability.
Hi guys, it's Andrew with Cityside Medical Clinic. Are you struggling with erectile dysfunction and sick of the pills? Well, we have a major medical breakthrough. The WAVE technology at Cityside Medical Clinic was tested by Cambridge University and the Cleveland Clinic, and the results are in. It's proven to increase blood flow by repairing blood vessels. No pills and no side effects. If you're ready to put a stop to your ED by treating the root cause, call us now. And not only will the assessment and blood flow ultrasound be free, we'll also include something unique that produces powerful results in the bedroom. I don't think I've ever seen it fail. This is a $600 value, free to those that call in the next 2 minutes. 646-715-5555. That's 646-715-5555. Guys, put a stop to your erectile dysfunction and get your love life back. Call Cityside Medical Clinic now to qualify. 646-715-5555.
If you heat your home with oil, you must hear this urgent message. Low-price home heating oil is now available to 77 WABC listeners at a fixed price that can save you hundreds of dollars a year on your home heating bill. If you think you're paying too much to heat your home, then pick up 66 Oil Deal right now to see how much you, a loyal 77 WABC listener, can save on heating oil. The Home Heating Oil Service Center is staffed 24/7 and mechanics are available 24 hours a day, 7 days a week to ensure your family is never left in the cold. Just dial 1-866-OIL-DEAL. That's 1-866-OIL-DEAL. The heating oil line is now open for 77 WABC listeners. Think you're paying too much for your home heating oil? Call the Home Heating Oil line now to see how much you can save off your home heating costs. Don't wait. There's no reason to pay too much for home heating oil. Call 1-866-OIL-DEAL. That's 1-866-OIL-DEAL. For eligible individuals, 18 or older only. Not available in Oregon or West Virginia. Results vary. See website for details and important safety information.
How are you doing this for me now?
Lieutenant. With hearing aids from Lively, everything is done remotely in the comfort of your home, from initial testing to adjustment.
How are they sounding now?
Fantastic. So much better. With Lively, you get premium Bluetooth-enabled hearing aids at thousands less than you might expect. The best hearing aid technology is now affordable and if you have any issues, we'll make adjustments. 7 days a week, no charge. Aw, you people at Lively are wonderful. With Lively hearing aids, you get free fitting, 3 years of follow-up care included, free, plus a 3-year warranty with loss and damage coverage. You can't lose. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/radio.
It takes 2 vaccines this season to help protect you. The flu and COVID-19. And now, you can get both shots at the same visit. Learn more at cdc.gov/vaccine. Who knows politics? And so much
mentioned if he was rich, has lined up with the Buccaneers coming back. And awesome, Ray. WABC Talk Radio 77, James Golden. We are so pleased, ladies and gentlemen, to have George P. Bush with us. For those of you that don't know, George P. Bush is the son of former Florida Governor Jeb Bush, President George W. And he is currently the land commissioner for the state of Texas, but in June he announced he was running for the Attorney General. George P. Bush, thank you for joining us this afternoon.
Great to be with
CNN did a hit piece on you, which is normal. They said that you're totally cool dissing your family to make Donald Trump happy. Now this was just because you and President Trump had a conversation. And look, I don't want to get into this whole business with Donald Trump and the Bush family. I want to talk about you and what you stand for and what you want. Because you have been so strident about talking about the problems at the border. If you were able to become the next
President Trump, that is, the derangement syndrome that the liberal media seems to have is perhaps a multiple during my uncle's times. I got to get that. In terms of border insecurity, but for the entire country. And today it was just uncovered that the Biden administration are flying illegals to New York. It's going to become high time that other parts of the country are going to realize what the dangerous policies and open border policies of this administration are leading to. And that's the largest surge of illegal immigration in modern American history. Look, immigrants, but in our country we are
In
no longer
2017, Bruckner Expressway, Grand
crime. I wish I had better news for your listeners, but we've got a lot of work ahead to take back to Congress, and there's only so much we can do with a president at the
exit
helm
left
that has
to
no
exit
sense of
17,
urgency,
I-278,
never been to the border,
RFK
a
Bridge,
vice president that's
Bruckner
spent more time in the
Expressway,
air
Grand
traveling
Central
to the
Parkway.
border when she came, and she actually visited the wall. So, we need new leadership and an attorney general that's going to hold the administration accountable.
And how would you hold what would you do? Let's say you prevail and you're successful, you are the Attorney General. What are you going to do?
So what I would do first is I would have been reporting a long time ago on the Remain in Mexico policy, but the Supreme Court has weighed in and said that it is arguably the most important policy that restored order on our border during the Trump days. And this basically said to offer asylum to our country, you do so from your country of origin or from Mexico, not in the United States while you wait for an immigration judge to hear your case over the course of 3 years, and then as you're finding a majority of running into
Queens, airports.
officials so that they could, because doing what we can at the local level. One final thing,
Estimated time in traffic, 9 minutes.
Something else. To become to move
In
into politics
1.5
at all.
miles,
And I
keep left to
hope
I-278
that
West
you would
Grand
indeed
Central
go
Parkway.
into politics because you are advocating things that I don't hear too often from the Republican Party. You want to enlarge this party. You want to make, while at the same time about that, you're not conservative values. Bring in other people. Specifically, you want to enlarge the really sound in terms of fiscal policy and where we need this. Over $5 trillion in new spending requests. What do you see if they are able to get this through? What do you see the state of the country?
First of all, this is something that I've not only preached but actually lived as a Hispanic American here in the state of Texas, reaching out to new communities as the only minority statewide elected official. We are a majority minority state, but we are a movement that doesn't believe in identity. Modern monetary theory, and that they would expand to an extent that our children or grandchildren will never be able to pay. You mentioned when I said it's a danger, one with the biggest smile in Washington, D.C. And he's absolutely
Police reported ahead.
They control the party, they control the agenda. And we need Republicans that are going to have a backbone and stand up to this, shut this discussion down, buy some time, do whatever they need to do so that we can take back the Congress in 22 and restore the unity of this country.
Someone espousing the values. James Dillon here on WABC. To get right to your calls when we get back. Don't you go away.
In half a mile, use the left 3 lanes to keep left to I-278 West Grand Central Parkway.
WABC, traffic and transit.
Underneath the cross west on the Alexander House. Hours now. Crash on the west side north and in the 120s. It's stall on the FDR south of 61st Street in the right lane. A stall on the Eagan north by the Grand Concourse has the left lane blocked. I'm Susie Serrano on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Audience in the morning here for Newsmax TV. Hey, so you're looking just like me for the big news about President Trump's big announcement? Oh, yeah, well, Newsmax has been one step ahead of the big media on Trump's next big move. That's why I go to Newsmax.com for breaking news. We both watch Newsmax TV at home or on the free Newsmax app on our phones. It's great. And I even get Newsmax magazine. Yes, Newsmax has a monthly magazine with writers like Bill O'Reilly, Ben Stein, Dr. Laura, and the real news you cannot find anywhere else. The readers will tell you about Biden's radical agenda. Guess what? Newsmax, he will. Newsmax magazine has over 700 played off for you. Emergency radio worth $30. But emergency say every family should have an emergency radio. These days you really need an emergency radio. So get it free with Newsmax
In 1,000 feet, keep left to I-278 West Grand Central Parkway.
I am one of thousands of women with metastatic breast cancer or MBC, which is breast cancer that has spread to other parts of the body. I am living in the moment and taking Ibrance, palbociclib.
Ibrance 125 milligram tablet with an aromatase inhibitor is for postmenopausal women or for men with HR positive, HER2 negative MBC as the first hormonal-based therapy. Be in your moment. Ask your doctor about Ibrance and visit Ibrance.com. Ibrance may cause low white blood cell counts that may lead to serious infections. Ibrance may cause severe inflammation of the lungs, and can lead to death. Ask your doctor right away if you have new or worsening symptoms, including trouble breathing, shortness of breath, cough, or chest pain. Before taking Ibrance, tell your doctor.
In 700 feet, use the left 3 lanes to keep left to I-278 West, Grand Central Parkway.
Side effects include low red blood cell and low platelet counts, infection, tiredness, nausea, sore mouth, abnormalities in liver blood tests, diarrhea, hair thinning and loss, vomiting, rash, and loss of appetite.
Janine Pirro here. Born from the tragedy of 9/11, the Tunnel to Towers Foundation has been honoring America's
Keep left to I-278 West, Grand Central Parkway.
200 mortgage-free homes to Gold Star and fallen first responder families with young children and for our nation's most catastrophically injured veterans and first responders. Frank Miller connected where America was attacked on foot from the Pentagon to Shanksville to downtown Manhattan, where he retraced his brother's footsteps on 9/11. Thanks to your support, Towers of Light returned to the Pentagon and Shanksville memorials again this year. For the first time, our country
In 3/4 of a mile, keep left to Grand Central Parkway East, LaGuardia Airport.
And another first is planned for Veterans Day. Those lost in the war on terror are having their names read aloud. Honor our vow to never forget. Donate $11 a month at seed2t.org. That's seed the number 2, t.org.
They put their lives on the line for us every day. Today, our police officers responsible for enforcing the law and keeping us safe. We thank you for your unselfish service and support you. 77 WABC and Ramsey Mazda, back the blue. Join us on Thursday, October 21st for a day filled with special guests and interviews to police officers everywhere. Thank you. 77 WABC cares. Now, here's the soul of excellence, James Elton, a.k.a. 77 WABC. WABC Talk Radio 77, New York City. Almost time for the phones. One more thing to do first. Rich, what time is it? James, it is time for the clip of the day. This is the James Golden Clip of the Day. You furniture and treadmills delivered on time, not to mention all sorts of other things.
So, what is the tragedy of the treadmill?
In 1/4 of a mile, use the left 3 lanes to keep left to Grand Central Parkway East, LaGuardia Airport.
The tragedy is had not given you treadmill benefits. This is why matter. This woman, I tell you, she blows my mind almost every day. Time to head to the telephones. Rich, where do we start?
All right, good afternoon again, James. Let us start with Diane in Stanford, Connecticut.
Welcome, Diane.
Keep left to Grand Central Parkway East, LaGuardia Airport. In 1.2 miles, take exit 6, 94th Street.
Belief in God, it's going on. Where people they're just want to be bothered.
Diane, all the points that you made, by the way, thank you for your very kind words. All the points that you made, I think, have some validity to them. I'm just stunned. I'm stunned that there was not one person that would say, what are you doing to stop this? Or even a group of people. And I mean, this poor woman, I can't imagine the trauma that she's experiencing now. And this trauma is going to live with her for the rest of her life. I think every man that, you know, for the people that you love, the women, your daughters, your girlfriends, your wives, this is why we worry. Because, and this criminal, this being, it would be my preference if he never sees the light of day. If he has to spend the rest of his life in jail for this horrid thing that he did. Dan, thank you for the call. Where are we going next?
Next, let us get hi to Mike in Middletown, New Jersey.
Welcome to the program. Mike James Golden, aka Bo Thurley. What's up?
Hi, James. I'm enjoying your program. I love you. Much more to Rush.
Thank you.
Simple thing on the bank account snooping. It's very simple. If they're going to look into our bank account, then I want to be able to look into every politician's bank account that votes for this law. As Mark Stein said, it's equality before the law. Thank you very much.
Love it. Thank you. Right, concise, to the point, and a great suggestion. We're going next, Rich.
Next, we're going to say hi to Lisa in Nutley, New Jersey.
Welcome to WABC Talk Radio 77. Lisa, what is on your mind this afternoon?
Hi, the next caller, totally agree with him. How do you, first of all, we need term limits, but how do you justify being in Congress, the House, and in the Senate for all these terms on your $150,000 a year salary, and you're walking away with jet plane, all kinds of money in the bank? It's embarrassing, first of all, and like he just said, and we agree, you want to come after us for $10,000. I want to know what you started with, when you were elected, when you were appointed, and what everyone in your family has as of right now.
Great point. Thank you so much, Lisa. We are going to get back to the phones. I just want to mention a few stories, headlines that I can't get to. The View College that made her quit.
In 1,000 feet, use the right lane to take exit 6, 94th Street.
And you will see how truly mean girls, nasty mean girls, two of the people on The View are. And I'm not a huge fan of Meghan McCain, but let me tell you, it was just dirty. CNN, Celtic, phrases, dropping of Superman's American Way. You know, they dropped that from the Superman logo. That was after Superman Jr. Said he was a bisexual. And Celtic says that dropping the American Way from the motto, he called that American Way business.
Yeah, I'm gonna
exit right to exit 6, 94th Street.
Biden's pick.
I'm gonna exit, follow the GPS.
The CBP pick is being accused of creating hostile work environment, racist. And he's saying now he's just a target. Assuming border protection. He's saying that he's the target. He's the victim.
In half a mile, at the roundabout, take the second exit on Ditmars Boulevard.
Washington Chief, that's a slip of the tongue, all right? The Washington Post got crushed. This is Fox News calling on American consumers to lower their expectations during this time. We're headed back to the phones. Rich, where are we going?
All right, James, next, let us speak with the Irishman in the Bronx.
Irishman in the Bronx. How are you, Irishman? How are you doing?
Top of the morning to you. Listen, I'm a retired NYPD detective. I'm the caller that alerted you to the flight of James O'Keefe from Project Verify.
And thank you. And we did have him on after that. Thank you. Okay, he's gone. Where are we going next?
Let us go next to Doug in West Trenton.
He cut himself up. Doug, how are you? WABC Talk Radio 77 with James Golden, a.k.a. Snurdly.
Hey, they had a commentary on that. Doug Sittel, S-I-T-T-E-L on Google and YouTube uploads. The class caption police admit he tells you who was responsible for the 9/11 attacks. He says George Bush. In the back of that is...
Okay, listen, stop right there. I don't do conspiracy tinfoil hat stuff here. You know, other people do that. I don't do that here. So let's not ever say George Bush was responsible for what happened on 9/11. It was the terrorists that were responsible for what happened on 9/11. Do the cool stuff elsewhere. Thank you, though. God bless you. Appreciate your call. Next up.
All right, let us speak with Elizabeth right here in Manhattan.
Hello, Elizabeth. How are you this afternoon, Elizabeth?
Okay, my father got a heart-stopping letter from the IRS.
Mm-hmm.
Well, he got on the phone, because he's an attorney, and he said, get me the head of the IRS. I was sitting there with him. He lambasted him and ended up getting money back. He was an attorney that argued cases before the Supreme Court, so the poor IRS man had not a chance. But you've got to fight them. You can't just let them roll over on you. And Biden, I don't know what he's trying to do.
He's trying to
In 1,000 feet, at the roundabout.
Oklahoma City, welcome to WABC Talk Radio.
At the roundabout, take the second exit on Ditmars Boulevard.
I'm going to suggest, let's all of us, including myself, we trust and we end. Putting God first from our heart, not just our mouth. God will bless this country and He will help us do what we have to do to get it back.
In 3/4 of a mile, turn left on Astoria.
The question is, if it is illegal what they did in 2020 about the money and stealing the election that way, American citizens, we can't count on the vote. I'd be one of the first.
Listen, okay. Is running out. You have to have standing in a case. And this is a legal definition, and it requires, this is very technical stuff, how you get in front of the Supreme Court. You can't just walk in and say, I'm an American citizen, I've been wronged, and we need this. You have to have standing for that particular. It has to have a constitutional. That is what the Supreme Court does. It sounds good in theory that we should be able to do that, but that's not the way it works, John. And in God we do trust. And you know what? God knows what's in our heart. We don't have to say things aloud all the time. He knows what's in our hearts. Thank you for the call. One more, but you got to make your point really quickly. Where are we going, Rich?
Let's go to Alfred in Middle Village.
Alfred, last words, but you got to do it quick.
How do you get in front of this thing?
Well, nope, we're not going to do it because his radio's on. So let's do this. We will be back tomorrow. In God we trust. God willing, we'll be back tomorrow. And each and every weekday here on WABC, Saturdays at 8 o'clock as well. My friends, this is the most amazing city in the world. And that includes you in Pennsylvania. Oh, New York. Incredible country, the most beautiful, wonderful nation that humanity has ever witnessed, America. God
Estimated
bless you.
time in traffic, 7 minutes.
We'll be back tomorrow. Join us. Bye.
Red Apple Media is proud to celebrate 100 years as one of America's most influential radio stations and New York's first. And WLIR-FM Hampton Bays. From around the world to around the block, this is a WABC 77-second news update.
Afternoon, I'm Bob Brown. Seems like within the administration, Homeland Security Secretary Alejandro Mayorkas testing positive for COVID-19. A spokesperson says Mayorkas is experiencing only mild congestion and will work from home. The secretary is fully vaccinated. It's unclear where he was infected. A new report from the New York Post says hundreds of migrant children have been flown from the border to Westchester County Airport in the middle of the night in secret flights. According to the report, the Biden administration is using the flights to transport the unaccompanied children and resettle them across various parts of the U.S. The Post's Miranda Devine explaining on Fox
In
News
1,000 feet, turn left on Astoria Boulevard, then keep right.
Late-night flights were necessary for the children's safety. The New York City Board of Health declaring racism a public health crisis. Health Commissioner Dr. James Choksi, tweeted that this quote marks a historic occasion to officially recognize the crisis and demand action. A House committee investigating the January 6th Capitol riots moving today to hold at least one of Donald Trump's allies in contempt as the former president is pushing back in the probe in a new lawsuit. Trump trying to block the committee's work by directing former White House aide Steve Bannon not to answer questions in the probe. Yankees manager Aaron Boone getting a 3-year deal with an option for a fourth, 3 made in the dugout. ALCS Boston and the Astros at Fenway tonight. NLCS Dodgers host the Braves just getting underway. Next, kicking off the NBA season tonight in Milwaukee. Forecast for the Ramsey Miles Weather Center. Sunny for the remainder this afternoon. A high of 67 tonight. Mostly clear, low 56. Midtown Manhattan Studios, 63 degrees and mostly clear. I'm Bob Brown. A traffic and trans report is next. And remember, the news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
Tomorrow at noon, he's the energetic voice for conservatives, speaking the language of America's young people. He's an author, named to the Forbes 30 Under 30 list, and he's one of the top 10 most engaged Twitter handles in the world. He's Charlie Kirk, and he's delivering in-depth political and cultural analysis on the Charlie Kirk Show.
There really isn't a inclination or a desire to find solutions.
Tomorrow at noon, the Charlie Kirk Show on Talk Radio 77 WABC. WABC, traffic and transit.
This fall on the SDR Drive south and at 61st Street is gone. An accident still being cleared off the west side northbound by 125th Street. Crash on the Whitestone Bridge northbound right before this span by 14th Avenue. Still on the Egan north and at 138th Street. Emergency road work on the inbound George lower level in the right lane. We're sponsored by Liberty Mutual. Nobody should have to pay for one-size-fits-all insurance. Liberty Mutual customizes your
Turn left, then use the right lane to keep right to Astoria Boulevard.
Radio 77 WABC.
He's involved in a number of businesses.
He's a great role model, telling it like it is, giving you both sides of the story. This is Cats at Night. Great American, a great New Yorker. Now, here's John.
Ladies, it's a 5 o'clock news, and Cats at Night show, right? #1 show now at 5 o'clock, and we have a loaded studio again. We have former Deputy Mayor Rudy Washington. How are you, Rudy?
It was a great day today, and looking for a better one tomorrow.
And big shout out to GOP in Brooklyn. We have Greg Eaton.
John, it's always great to be here with you.
Well, thank you. And Lydia Serrano.
Your sidekick, your trusty
My
sidekick. What is your Superman outfit? Remember, that's what you need, like a bionic outfit, because you're always working, you're always everywhere. If you had a cape, right?
24/7, John Katz.
He is. He's like Superman. The red, the gold. Look, I'm serious. Look.
Yeah.
Right? Okay. Well, on the line with us right now, we have the constitutional attorney that is probably the best, not even probably the best in the world. We have Alan Dershowitz, who's a professor at Harvard Law School for 50 years. And Professor Dershowitz, I understand you have a really great story about Colin Powell.
Yeah. So about 20 years ago, when he was still a gentleman, he and I were getting an award together by the parents group about,
Use the right lane to keep right to Astoria Boulevard.
About 85 at the time.
In 700 feet, turn left on Northern Boulevard. Turn left on Northern Boulevard.
And he said, Mrs. Dershowitz,
Estimated time in traffic, 17 minutes.
but the rumor is not true. I do not speak Yiddish. And then he paused and he said, maybe a little. Oh, that's So, he made my Mother's Day. It made my Mother's Day. He spoke Yiddish to General Powell. He was a great man. I got to know him. Nobody's perfect. Nobody doesn't make mistakes, but he comes as close to it as you could. I mean, he was just a great commander in the field, a great chairman of the Joint Chiefs, great national security advisor, great secretary of state, and most important, a great human being, a terrific mensch. Even though he didn't come from Brooklyn, he came from the Bronx, he was great.
I had a great experience with him too. You know, he was a captain, police athletically.
Right,
and he came to talk to the kids a few times, and they cared about the kids in the inner city. Yeah, Professor, this is Rudy Washington. I too have my stories because I was one of the ones leading the charge, I believe it was 97 or 96, to draft Colin Powell for president.
Yeah.
I was working with Tex McCrary, a World War II veteran. They dragged me to that effort, and I got to know him a bit, and and like you said, you can't say enough about him.
Yeah, he was a very proud alumnus of City University, City College in New York. Back in the day when poor people like him and me could get a free education, we were getting in those days a better education than Harvard. We were getting a better education, and it was costing us nothing, costing us need others. We worked, we had, if not full-time jobs, very substantial time jobs while we were going to college. We were bringing money into our family, not spending it, and we got
the best education I got was at Brooklyn Tech High School. Now it's done.
graduate. Get into Brooklyn College. You needed an 82 average if you were a boy. An 82 average if you were a boy. If you were a girl, you needed an 88 average. Wow! Imagine the lawsuit today. Discrimination against women, because what happened is so many more women had good grades and wanted the same average for boys and girls. There would be 80% young women and only 20% young men. So they had to skew the average. But today, think about that. I took the place of a more qualified woman at Brooklyn College. I made it by the skin of my teeth. I was not a good high school student. I made it by the skin of my teeth. And a more qualified woman with a higher average was turned down. That just is never fair.
Well, I did say that women should hold themselves to a higher standard.
Well, we shouldn't hold them to a higher standard. They by an equal standard.
There's two subjects we want to talk to. One of them being President Trump suing the commission, the Congressional Commission for January 6th. And the average person walking on the street doesn't understand what he's suing for. Can you tell the average person on the street what is he suing for?
Sure. Well, first of all, we have a concept under American constitutional law called executive privilege. All it means is when the President of the United States has to have private communications with advisors, he's entitled not to have that advice on the front page of the New York Times or on the Cat Show. He's entitled to have that maintain privacy and secrecy. So that's called executive privilege. Now, Congress, they like executive privilege. They love congressional privilege. You can't question any member of Congress or the Senate anywhere else except, for what they've done. But they don't like executive privilege, so they try to narrow it. So they're subpoenaing the president, some of the people who sought advice from, and others, and he's resisting, understandably.
In 900 feet, use the left 3 lanes to keep left at I-678 North, Whitestone Bridge.
If I recall correctly, didn't President Obama use that with Fast and Furious? With AG Holder?
Every single president has used used executive privilege. Now the interesting question comes up, can a former president use executive privilege to cover actions which he took while president? I think the answer to that is clearly yes. The privilege doesn't end. Just like if you're married to somebody and you have a spousal privilege and you get divorced, the spousal privilege still remains.
Keep left to I-678 North, Whitestone Bridge.
The privilege still remains. The issue is not whether you revoke the privilege. The issue is what the privilege covers. Were you president when you had the conversations that are being discovered? And the answer to that is clearly yes.
You know, something about Bruce Craigie, another Brooklyn lawyer, and there was a reference in the legal counsel opined on this back in 2001, and they definitely said that the privilege belongs to a president if the action took place during his presidency.
Of course, and the Supreme Court rendered some statements on it in the Nixon, when Nixon left the presidency as well. So I think, like my former colleague Larry Tribe, if you want to know what the answer is to a constitutional question for Tribe, just ask whether it's a Democrat or Republican. If it helps the Democrats, the Constitution, why is that not in the country? I mean, it's ridiculous. It's just amazing. So I bet you anything that Tribe will say, oh, no, the privilege doesn't apply to a former president.
Professor Dershowitz, I have a question for you. So the New York City Council, several members on a committee voted to remove Thomas Jefferson's 7-foot-tall statue from City Hall. It's been there for over 100 years because, like so many historical figures, he owned slaves. What's your take on it?
Well, first of all, let's remember the history of the statue. The statue was commissioned by an admiral in the Navy, the first Jewish admiral ever to serve in the Navy, a guy named Levy. And he commissioned it to religious freedom in this country. The Bill of Rights. And, you know, he did great things. Is anybody perfect? Of course not. Was Martin Luther King perfect? No. You know, was Adam Clayton Powell perfect? Far from it. Was Malcolm X perfect? Yet we have their names still on street corners. So we're very selective in who we try to cancel. And I don't think Jefferson should be canceled. You look at a person's whole life, you condemn the slave ownership, and you condemn some of the other aspects of his life, and then you praise the great things that he did. He was really, the man who wrote the Declaration of Independence. I have an early copy of the Declaration of Independence on my wall. I look at it all the time. It inspires me. It's a great, great document, beautifully written, and yet it was in conflict. All men are created equal, except black people. Women were not created equal at the time either. So, you take people as you get them. Human beings are complicated. They're not simple. So I'm not in favor of taking down the statue.
And the funny thing is, it's the Public Design Commission of the New York City Council that is the one that voted. It's a little-known New York City committee, and they voted to take it down.
Crazy. Yeah,
crazy.
Where do you stop? I live right opposite Roosevelt Island. Roosevelt wasn't perfect. He kept Jews from coming to America. He stopped the St. Louis from landing in the United States. He was a deeply, deeply flawed president. But on balance, he was a great man. It's my honor to be looking out to the window every day and seeing Roosevelt Island, even though I'm reminded that he wasn't perfect. They've taken down Theodore Roosevelt.
But history is history. I mean, we can't erase the entire history of the world. I mean, that's what they want to do. They're going to take away every statue that exists.
No, they don't want to take them all away. They only want to take the ones away that are not today politically acceptable. Yeah. As long as Malcolm X remains the name of a street in Manhattan, as long as Adam Clayton Powell, then I'm going to know they're not applying a single standard here. They're applying a selective standard because none of these folks was perfect. And if we started removing the names of every street and every person, every street would have to be called, First Street, Second Street, Third Street.
Good point.
Professor Dershowitz, so there's the big story of the day is that the White House admits it has been flying migrants secretly into Westchester County Airport in the dead of night. And they're being dispersed all across the country. There's even a report that there's, among them, it's not just unaccompanied minors, they're adults. They're dropping them off at a Costco in Portchester. From a legal standpoint, I live in Westchester County. What can
In
we do?
1.2 miles,
The fact that there is
keep
no
left to exit
transparency
16,
is
Cross
frightening.
Island Parkway South.
Me too. I mean, the essence of democracy is transparency. If you need to have a secret, if you're going to bomb a country, if you're going to do a rescue operation, okay. But this doesn't require secrecy. This requires cooperation. It requires consensus. It requires that Americans know exactly what's happening so we can intelligently vote the next time around based on all of these policies. Some people might vote positively for it. We want more immigrants to come. We want to save lives. That's not the issue. The issue isn't who's right or who's wrong. The issue is, do we get to know about it? And of course we have to get to know about it.
Well, Professor, thank you so much for calling in today. And we're going to be listening on the radio for a few more minutes. We're going to play a special clip with Colin Powell about I did that interview 2 years ago, and he was a great interview. We're going to put it on the website later, and he was a great man, and I respect him a great deal, and God bless him wherever he is now.
I had the pleasure of meeting him a few times with you. An amazing guy. I want to name streets after him. Yeah. He's somebody who we can all agree on.
I agree. Oh, thank you, Professor Dershowitz. Are we going to play the clip before the break? Let's play the clip. And leadership is taught, gentlemen?
Leadership is integrated. It's integrated in the academic work and in the practical work.
What else would you like to tell Americans?
I tell Americans that this country is a great country. It has never not been great. And it continues to have basically the infrastructure, the optimism, and the education system works. Sometimes the government's not working the way you like it to, but we find, in my experience, and I'm sure your experience, that over time the country figures out its problem and solves it. That's what's been so great about this country. Not everything's perfect. Racism was something we wanted to keep. Slavery wasn't perfect by any means. It was horrible. But we got through all of that. We got to always be looking to progress, to make sure we take care of those of our fellow citizens in need, but also make sure that we have an economy that provides the wealth necessary financially, but to make sure that we are working hard to get every citizen a sufficient wage to take care of themselves and their family. We know that too, but we also owe those who don't have the advantages that you and I had, who are living at the lower end of the income ladder, lower steps of the income ladder. We have to find ways to make sure that they can have a decent wage and earn enough to take care of themselves. My parents came to this country. They never made, even though they made more than $50 a week, but it was enough in those days, in the 30s, 40s, 50s. It was enough to give them a nice apartment in South Bronx, a car, and then in due course we moved to Queens like a lot of people do, from Harlem to Bronx to Queens.
In 1,000 feet, use the left 2 lanes to keep left.
And so I certainly wasn't rich from my end of the earth, but they had enough to live well. Always food on the table, clothes on your back, a nice apartment that you can rent. And everybody ought to have that. We got to make sure our economy is doing better.
Keep left to exit 16,
General,
Cross Island Parkway South.
American. You've showed the great things for America, and even in your retirement, you are doing great things for America by helping these kids become better Americans.
Thank you. Come on up and visit my school.
I will be there. I will come up and visit because I have a similar story, and I look forward to it. And General, have a great summer.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye, John.
Bye-bye. This is the Cat Roundtable. It was a terrific tour, and I teach them how to do it. We're going to take a break, and we're going to come back with another.
Continue toward Northern Boulevard East.
If you're stressed about your corporate move, call UNC Moving 770310. The following is a paid political call.
I'm Deborah Antonelli, the Republican candidate running for the Staten Island North Shore City Council 49th District. Are you tired of the current leadership and ready for change? Are you concerned about having the highest crime rate on Staten Island? Are you going to have your kids start learning the basics of reading, writing, and math, and not focusing on social issues? Are you ready to launch a fighter for a better quality of life? If so, then I'm your candidate. Vote for me on November 2nd.
Yeah. How you doing?
After Marie, how are you?
Good, thank you.
You probably thought I forgot about you.
No.
The black new one, right? That you have.
Yeah.
Is it like a hardware installation in your car? You have to like run the wires?
Yes.
Okay, did you take it to an auto shop to do it, or you did it yourself?
I did it myself.
You did it yourself. And the storage is like 256 gigabytes or greater than that?
I think 128. I'm not sure. I need to take the SIM card out. I'm not sure.
Can you let me know, because they're saying that they want to see that it's the installation. So I mean, if you did it yourself, you just have to send me
Yeah, show
And,
you picture and also take a
but
look.
now you would just have to confirm if it's a 256 gigabyte or greater.
Yeah, I think so. I'm not sure. I need to take it out.
That you have to confirm and send me a video of the installation that is installed in your car.
Video or picture?
Um,
I do clip. I do both. I do both clip here.
so just send me the pictures of, the wire where it's in the car.
Okay, I also have Ventura. I have two cameras also. Yeah.
No, they're not doing the Ventura. They only want to know about the black view.
Okay, so I'll focus on the black view. Yes.
Yeah.
Okay, send me email also and I'll reply you to your email.
Alright, no problem.
People in hospitals to a standard in which some people are actually losing their job. And we've got tens of thousands of people who come over and nobody even checks them for COVID. We hear nothing about what is going on there. Nothing about an inoculation program. Or keeping them in quarantine so they can be checked and then given the dosage so that we don't expose others. This is preposterous. It's just wrong.
Senator,
Part of the Biden sneak attack on America.
Senator, this is Rudy Washington. We haven't talked in a while. But, one of the things nobody talks about, and I tell people, we'll be taking care of these immigrants, at least for the next 2 generations. You're looking at an AI society, highly computerized. It's advancing even faster. Americans can't keep pace, a lot of them. And now you're bringing in millions of people that will not be able to function in this environment. And just like you said, 25,000 per kid on Long Island. And
In 1,000 feet, use the right lane to take exit 31E, New York 25A toward Northern Boulevard East.
Found in wooded areas, chopped up. It was a shock.
And what I learned from Congressman Peter King is that the majority of MS-13 gang members came to this country as unaccompanied minors. So even if they don't
Exit right to exit 31E, New York 25A toward Northern Boulevard East.
becomes their family. They're forced to sell the drugs. They're forced to do the sex trafficking. So we're just revitalizing this gang activity once again.
We're not screening them for other things, too. So this is crazy. We're not screening them to see if they have relationships with terrorist groups or what their background is. I mean, there's a lot of issues, and they did it under the cover of night, which is what really concerns me, is because what else? And apparently, it's been going on August. They've been under. And it's absolutely deplorable and terrible. Where's our open government? Well, why do we think? Tom Swazi, congressman who represents part of
In 1.3 miles, turn right on Little Neck Parkway.
the loudest. They'll probably call them into the White House and excoriate them. But I have to say, Tom has done the right thing. Tom points out the tremendous burden on our local taxpayers. So, here we are. We're proposing all of this legislation to take care of people from 3 years old to community college, etc., etc. That's a local
responsibility. And if the states want to bring in programs like this, and some of them are, they should be doing it. You shouldn't just pass this and shove this down the throats of people and then go to the hard-working taxpayers. Well, let me tell you, our hard-working middle-class families are families who are, fairly well-to-do. They're getting hurt with the tax increases in school districts. Obviously, in yesterday and today, when I go into a deli and I give them $10, $2 for the newspaper, and the rest for a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich, and he says, well, it's $6.50 plus taxes, and I get back just $1. $7 for a bacon, egg, and cheese sandwich? What are we kidding? Working middle-class families, they can't afford to see that. And this is just the beginning, John, because the heating bills are going to go through the ceiling. Absolutely. Natural gas. Oh, and don't worry, they're just going to put a tax on these companies that produce natural gas, and that'll make it even more costly because we have an idea that we have to move to all electric overnight. Do it in a sound way. Yes, I want a clean environment, but don't tax us out of business when we're fighting for our lives to be able to compete with China. They're laughing like crazy. We stopped the oil line from Canada. I guess Canada's our enemy. I guess they got a better way to get oil. You have to get it from the Arabic countries. You have to import oil from Russia. My God, we were the largest producers that now we have trouble heating our homes and running our fleets. Joe Biden, boy, you are a disaster, and you're hurting working middle-class families.
And that's not easy for you to say, Senator D'Amato, because you know him also on a personal level, and the fact that it's just unbelievable, the destruction that's been done in, 10 months?
The destruction now is nothing compared to what we're going to see this winter, because the inflation is going to do nothing but go up. When you can't get goods, people charge more for them, and that's what's happening every day.
And there is a shortage of goods too.
Yeah, and there's no respite in sight. And plus, we want to increase taxes all the way around. We want to stop investment. And let me tell you, increase the tax on capital gains, and you'll see how much less gets invested into the economy, particularly from working families. You want to put aside some money for their kids so they can send them to school and do things or buy a house, etc.
It's going to kill the real estate.
Yeah, they got to invest.
It's going to kill us in the real estate industry. Senator D'Amato, thank you so much for coming on, and God bless you, God bless America. We have to take a break, and when we come back with Chris Lang and
In 1,000 feet, use the right lane to turn right on Little Neck Parkway. Then turn left. Turn right on Little Neck Parkway. Then use the left lane to turn left on Pembroke Avenue.
We'll make it happen. 7 days a week, no charge. These people at
left lane to turn left on Pembroke Avenue.
Warranty with loss and damage coverage. You can't lose. I hear better than I ever thought possible. Now get $100 off your hearing aids when you go to listenlively.com/radio. That's listenlively.com/radio. listenlively.com/radio.
This is Greg Kelly. The 2020s are a lot like the 1970s. The experts are making the comparison. Number one, we have another weak leader. If it's at all possible, Joe Biden is less respected than Jimmy Carter. Two, inflation is surging. The 1970s saw crippling double.
Getting close, huh?
Yep.
No one seems to be.
It look like nice neighborhood. I feel like I'm on vacation now.
But every place is very close to each other.
Yeah. This is like a countryside.
In a
But
quarter of a
little
mile,
countryside,
you'll
they
arrive.
take the land, you know.
Yeah. Long Island style.
So here's the border.
Oh,
This street is the border.
the border of Long Island?
Yeah.
Oh, really?
Between now we are in Queens.
Oh,
We're moving like a 2-car distance.
Really?
Is, Long Island.
Queens, not Long. Which side? This side Long Island?
You'll arrive in 1,000 feet.
Ahead.
Ahead. Oh, so it's still Queens. It's called.
Now there's a Long Island.
Okay. I see. You do this every day?
No. They asked me driving, but I only have one car. My wife needs a car Monday and Tuesday.
Oh,
So then I was talking with them. I working from Wednesday till Sunday. They
Yeah.
don't like it.
You've arrived at your destination.
well, we made it.
Yep. Sorry to bring you any
Okay.
traffic.
God bless you. Have a good day.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
my
Good
friend.
luck. Take care. Be safe.
Safety drive. Have a nice day.
Thank you.
Bye-bye.
That was then. Let me go. Go home sweet home. We go pee-pee and home sweet home. I'll be home like 6:30.
Turn right on Belmont Road. Then turn right on Kensington Place.
Right now, we have Lieutenant General William Gus Pagonis. He served as Director of American Logistics during the Gulf War. Pagonis also served in the United States Army for almost 30 years, retiring with a 3-star rank of Lieutenant General. He also has a great story about Colin Powell. Welcome, Lieutenant General William Pagonis.
Good afternoon.
Well, tell us, tell us about the Gulf War. Tell us about the mistakes that we made. Tell us the good, the bad, and the ugly.
Well, first of all, we had the right team in place. The Goldwater-Nichols Act stated that the commander-in-chief in the field, which was Schwarzkopf, would be in charge, not the chiefs of each of the services, and that he would report directly to the Joint Chiefs of Staff, who would report to the President, who's commander-in-chief through the Constitution of the United States. Schwarzkopf was absolutely the right guy for in the field. And Powell, you couldn't have gotten anybody better to be chairman of the Joint Chiefs of Staff. So they worked as a team. I saw it firsthand many times when General Powell and the President would come to the theater for updates and briefings. And so the Gulf War we thought would last 6 months to a year and ended up lasting 100 hours. We had a bold plan of getting about 150,000 troops and all their supplies, ammunition, vehicles behind the enemy while the bombing was going on, and then attack from the desert, which nobody dreamed we'd be able to do. Everybody thought we were coming from the sea. And General Powell and Schwarzkopf approved that plan and told me to figure out how to do it to get everybody back there. So it was and we had 7 months, almost 7 months of being able to train while Saddam Hussein just sat in Kuwait. Had he attacked right away, we'd have had a serious problem because we had to fly all the troops in and all the equipment had to come by ship. That's a quick thumbnail thing, and it worked out very well. We got in there. General Powell insisted that we go with the best force we could. Schwarzkopf totally agreed and demanded it. The president supported it. And once it started, they had 4 million troops. We had about 350 combat troops, 150,000 support troops. We were able to end it in 100 hours, which was amazing to me. I thought it would last a lot longer. But we had the right leadership, and General Powell was one of the leaders in that effort.
Well, it took longer for the Taliban to take over Kabul.
Yeah, 11 days, right?
11 days.
My Army career, I spent years in Vietnam, 2 years in Vietnam. General Powell spent 2 years there. Schwarzkopf spent 2 years. And one of the first things they discussed in the meeting I was in, we're not going to make the mistakes of Vietnam. The military will set up the operation. The commander-in-chief's the president. He will approve it. We will execute it. And remember, 70% of my command was National Guard and Reservists. For the first time in history, we had National Guard, Reservists, and active duty all mixed together. And they did a remarkable job. And because most of our logistics was placed in the reserve units many years ago. And we got it together, and the troops did a magnificent job in execution.
Now, General, you're out of the Army, you're retired. In retrospect, and we had a discussion in here with a few congressmen and a senator the other day. Saddam Hussein was a checks and balances against Iran. In retrospect, do you think it was a mistake maybe to bring him down?
Well, I can't, I can only answer from my perspective. I was involved in a meeting, and I remember a discussion. The enemy was fleeing and running away. We had evacuated them. We evacuated all the civilians out of Kuwait ahead of time as fast as we could, and all the enemy forces were gone. That was the mission that the UN approved, that the United States committed, that we would get all the enemy out of Kuwait and send Saddam Hussein back to Iraq. That was accomplished. At that point, I can remember discussion was made, okay, should we pursue that Iraqi army into Iraq? And somebody said, and I think it was General Schwarzkopf, we're like a dog chasing a bus. What are we going to do when we catch it? And it was decided that was not the mission. That was not the mission approved by everybody. And that was it, and we ended it. It'll be money back quarterbacking to say, well, had we pursued it and gone into Iraq, I think we'd still be in Iraq occupying it. We're not a very good army of occupation. That's not our mission. That's not what people are trained for. And so the politicians can get into it. That's one thing I did. I learned from General Powell. I worked for him twice. I met him when I was a major, and he was a colonel. Then we ran up in Fort Carson, Colorado. He was a brigadier general. I was a colonel in charge of all the logistics. He was a general officer in charge of operations. And I used to talk to him every Friday and update him on the status of how the equipment changed. Got alerted. And I really used to
In 300 feet, turn left on Westminster Road.
We have to have civilian control, which is the president.
Westminster
And
Road.
we need to make sure if we have another war, it's not like Vietnam, where we piecemealed ourselves in there. We need to go with a massive force, knock it out, knock the mission out, and get out. So somebody can argue all day. I think we lost 300 in the Gulf War. Sadly, 200 and some of them were ahead of the combat troops to get everything set up. And we have
Long Island, beautiful houses, rich people, rich people.
goes across. So at the time, the right decision was made. I've been asked many
In a
times,
quarter of a mile,
would you
turn
change
right
this,
on Bates
change
Road.
that? And I always answer, hey, based on the time,
On to the next one,
information,
on to the next one.
environment, culture, this is a decision we made, and we have to live with it. Who would have dreamed we'd have gone to Afghanistan for 20-some years after we said we would never do that again after being in Vietnam?
In 1,000 feet, turn right.
What you just stated, what became known as the Pound
Long Island, Great Neck. On to the next one, on to the next one. 52 minutes to go to the city. I'll be in the city like 6:40. Yeah, just change the light. Front right light.
One day, a few workmates he had, he said we had told
Road.
and he gave us 6-7 months to build up our force. And Paul's doctrine was you don't take on an enemy unless you have a deliberate game plan of what you're going to do and what the end result's going to be. And then once you have that sort of force together, it will allow you to win.
In 700 feet, turn left on Little Neck Parkway. Then turn right. Turn left on Little Neck Parkway. Then turn right on Leeds Road.
Well, I enjoyed my time in service, so I appreciate it. Thank you.
Let's take a break, and when we come back, we have Kathy Wild, and she's going to talk about
New York City bringing it back. We'll be right back.
There's never a dull moment here. New York Station is Talk Radio 77 WABC.
WABC.
Turn right on Leeds Road. Turn right on Horace Harding Expressway, Service Road. Then keep left at I-495 West, Long Island Expressway toward Midtown Tunnel.
Wee, wee, wee. Long Island
Left
Expressway.
at
Here we go.
I-495 West, Long Island Expressway toward Midtown Tunnel.
Wee, wee, wee. Midtown Tunnel. Lambo Bridge. Woo, 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 woo.
Estimated time in traffic, 15 minutes.
Midtown Tunnel.
Continue straight for 30 minutes to I-495 West toward Midtown Tunnel, Manhattan.
Expressway. Ahí. 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 Keep the trail in the field, ahí.
New York City government last for long. She is the news. Welcome, Kathy Weil. Thank you. Good to be with you. So talk to us. I mean, we're doing great fiscally, but it might not last.
I know. I'm praying for Kathy to be right. Yes. Hey, Kathy, it's Rudy Washington. How are you?
Oh, Rudy, nice to connect.
Yeah.
I'm good, thank you. And I think we're all feeling better about our status of the COVID, that seems to be going well. Almost 80% of our adult population are vaccinated. Looks like we'll have a safe vaccination for kids in a couple weeks. So that part of what's happening, our recovery from a health standpoint is going well, but and it feels like we're doing well fiscally in terms of financial aid, but that's because the federal government has basically bestowed $20 billion on us in the last 8 months, and we're blowing through it. So the thing we have to worry about is what happens in 2023 when the city's running a couple $1 billion deficit, and we've still got almost 500,000 people out of work who've lost their jobs during the COVID.
Well, a lot of people have come back to New York, Kathy. I see it on the Long Island Expressway coming back from Suffolk County, and I see it in the streets. There are people coming back more and more. The schools are open. The colleges are open. Our sales at Prestige and Garden State are up over 20%. Everybody...
People gotta eat, John. People gotta eat.
But people still... I think the fear is still a little bit in their hearts. What do you think?
Absolutely. I think, I think in terms of the health situation, yes, the breakthrough infections have scared people. I mean, it was terrible. I know you've been talking about what happened with Colin Powell and the fact that many people are still vulnerable to the infection. But I think the biggest fear factor is, for many people, is both on the economic side, financial security, because those people that have lost their jobs, as unemployment runs out, federal aid runs out, the eviction moratorium ends in January, people are worried about paying. But, again, has bailed us out, and frankly, the financial industry has bailed us out. Our state controller put out a report today. Income tax market profitable than ever. That's the good. In the city or paying rent to be able to run a business. And that's the part we have to be concerned about. We have to be
that is the scary part, because if too many people are working remotely and not coming.
This is really fucked up sunset. Unbelievable. Goddamn ridiculous. Strong sunglasses. Detail. Wee. Get away, sunset. Sunshine, get away, sunshine. Go back to the water, lady. Go back to the water. You're too much. You're too much sunshine, you're too much. Oh, Ray, thank you. Thank you, Ray. Wow. Can't believe it. You see this goddamn sunshine? Sunshine. Go to sleep, please. Thank you, really. We appreciate all the hard work. Appreciate it. Gasolina, benzina, breakfast, lunch, dinner. Custom Halloween.
Is that correct?
Yes, we're getting tech movie. Actually, ironically, Amazon is the second biggest employer in the city, private sector employer in the city right now.
Wow.
They've got over 19,000 people here. So we drove their headquarters away, but the jobs are coming.
Thank you. We're out of time. Thank you, Matthew Wild, and thank you for keeping your eyes on things. And Rudy Washington, Craig Eaton, Lydia Serrani, and thank you all for listening today. God bless America and God bless New York. Great show, John. Thanks.
Celebrate 100 years as one of America's most influential radio stations and New York's first.
WABs. Tell them I'll be home later at 6:40. 6:50. I'll be home late.
WABC Evening News Brief.
Not with any chick, I'm just doing my job.
Has tested positive for COVID-19. Spokesperson said Mayorkas is experiencing only mild symptoms. He is fully vaccinated. It's unclear when he was infected. A new report from the New York Post says migrant children have been arriving at Westchester County Airport in the middle of the night in secret flights. According to the report, the Biden administration is using the flights to transport the unaccompanied to Tucker Carlson, but was seen at the airport.
We were told by the government they were all unaccompanied children, but several of them did look to us to be males in their 20s, late teens, and then they were put onto buses, charter buses. They had a police escort out of the airport, and then they were dispersed around various places.
The Biden administration has said they have an obligation to take care of unaccompanied children.
It is our legal responsibility until they are a vetted sponsor, and that's something we take seriously. We have a right obligation to do that and deliver on that.
Former two-term Westchester County executive and Republican candidate for governor Rob Ostorino on Bernie and Sid.
We don't know anything about the status of these coming in. Why are you doing it in the middle of the night under the cloak of darkness? The public has a right to know, and we weren't being told at. Why don't they do it in the middle of the day and inform everybody?
Video which purportedly shows adult migrants being dropped off by the busload at a Costco in Portchester after being flown into Westchester County Airport. Meantime, Texas Senator Ted Cruz introducing new legislation that would relocate migrants to Democrat-led communities.
So rich Democrats can be sitting there and suddenly see 10, 20, 30, 50,000 illegal immigrants like we're seeing in Texas on a daily basis, and I can just envision them in Nantucket sipping a martini going, oh goodness, they want to come to our clubs.
Called the Stop Surge Act, the legislation would establish new ports of entry in communities such as North Hero, Vermont, where Senator Bernie Sanders lives, and Martha's Vineyard, where the Obamas currently reside. The New York City Board of Health has declared racism a public health crisis. Health Commissioner Dr. Dave Choksi tweeting that this, quote, marks an historic occasion to officially recognize the crisis and demand action. Democratic nominee for New York City Mayor Eric Adams making a new campaign promise today. If elected, he said he would build 300 new miles of protected bike lanes across all 5 boroughs. Adams himself is an avid bike rider. Governor Kathy Hochul says the state is preparing for approval of COVID-19 vaccines for 5 to 11-year-olds.
So I don't want to just leave it all to the providers as well. I want to make sure we're talking to pharmacists as well, that they're ready to be able to take care of children, urgent care centers, as well as schools. So we have a lot that we're planning for. This is going to be a great opportunity, again, just relieve some of the stress that parents are feeling about the safety and health of their children.
The governor adding that over 26 million New Yorkers are fully vaccinated against COVID. Meantime, federal regulators this week are expected to authorize the mixing and matching of COVID-19 booster shots. The upcoming announcement by the FDA is likely to include the approval of booster shots for Moderna and Johnson & Johnson. Well, turning now to sports, the ALCS Boston Astros series continuing at Fenway tonight. NLCS Dodgers hosting the Braves. That game underway. And your forecast from the Ramsey Mazda Weather Center tonight looks like this. We'll have mostly clear skies, lows in the mid-50s. Tomorrow, mostly sunny, milder than it's been, high 74. From the 77 WNC Midtown Manhattan Studios, 53 degrees under clear skies. I'm Bob Brown. A traffic and transit report next. And remember, the news never stops at WABCRadio.com.
Music Radio 77 WABC presents Saturday Night with Tony Orlando. Every Saturday at 10 p.m.
Hi, everybody. This is Tony Orlando.
It's like a variety show on the radio. Storytelling at its best. Saturday nights were made for Music Radio 77 WABC and Tony Orlando. Every Saturday at 10 p.m. right after Cousin Brucey on Music Radio 77 WABC. WABC, Traffic and Transit.
Some better news on the inbound George lower level underneath the apartments. The emergency roadworks blocking one left lane now. 2 lanes down and broken with an accident on the BQE North and at Metropolitan Avenue. 4 hours in counting with a crash on the Cross West and on the Alexander Hamilton Bridge. Accident in Rochelle Park, 17 South at Central Avenue. Single laning with an accident in Alpine on the Palisades Parkway North and at Exit 4. I'm Susie Sterling on Talk Radio 77 WABC.
Continue straight for 11 minutes to I-495 West toward Midtown Tunnel, Manhattan. Estimated time in traffic, 9 minutes.
You know, one of the things that's done a lot on TV and radio is complaining and whining. And, of course, talking. So I got to thinking, with respect to the vaccination, what can people do about it if they have a religious objection, or if they've already been subjected to the virus and have natural immunity? What can be done? Apart from drama, apart from threats, apart from destroying people's lives. And I want to start off by saying this. You can sue the hell out of your employer. You can sue the hell out of your employer depending on your circumstances and the circumstances at that company. First of all, I tried to find a situation where the federal government has ever passed a law mandating the use of vaccination. I didn't find a single one. I didn't find a single one. Because that's a state police power. A state police power. Regardless of people arguing, well, you know, the virus is across state lines, isn't yet issued a mandate, has turned to OSHA, it's because he doesn't have a national mandate. There is no statutory authority whatsoever. It's never been done. They still have not issued his executive order based on OSHA regulation because it wouldn't pass muster. That's number one. Federal government has no statutory authority, none, to issue a national mandate. So that's number one. Number two, there's an excellent piece that was written by a professor by the name of, I'm looking, Ken Terry, about the Kaiser Family Foundation and what they learned, the legality of vaccination mandates. The Kaiser Family Foundation, or KFF report, addressed the broader question of whether COVID-19 vaccination mandates are legal. Which entities can require people to be vaccinated? The federal government's authority to mandate vaccinations of any kind is limited. The Public Health Service Act authorizes the Secretary of Health and Human Services to adopt quarantine and isolation measures to stop the spread of disease among states, but doesn't even mention vaccine mandates. General vaccine mandates, are generally within the purview of state and local governments, with the federal government playing a supporting role. The U.S. Supreme Court upheld a state vaccine mandate over a century ago, the Jacobson case, 1905. State's police power. In that case, a local law, we talked about this a month ago, required all adults to be vaccinated against smallpox during an outbreak. All states today require vaccinations for school attendance. The Supreme Court has endorsed those laws, but those are state laws. Some states also require adults to be vaccinated, but these laws are very limited, the report said. Current state vaccination laws for adults are focused on healthcare workers and patients in healthcare facilities, rather than the general population. And these state mandates generally require that the healthcare workers be offered certain vaccines, and some require documentation of employee vaccination status. But the report didn't say that any states require these workers to be vaccinated. This is why so many people are upset. What's being done today has never been done in American history. Has never been done in American history. Period. Now, let's go at some other points here that I think are very important. I looked at some other reports. professors who are sort of experts in this area. Scott Bomboy is a editor-in-chief of the National Constitution Center. He points out several federal laws allow for vaccine exemption for employees based on religious beliefs. Civil Rights Act under Title I of the Americans with Disabilities Act. The U.S. Equal Employment Opportunity Commission confirmed these exemptions in May of 2021. Federal EEO laws do not prevent an employer from requiring all employees physically entering the workplace to be vaccinated for COVID-19, so long as employers comply with the reasonable accommodation provisions of the ADA and Title VII of the Civil Rights Act of 64 and other EEO considerations, the Commission said in the statement. So if an employer has a blanket vaccination requirement and doesn't consider, or just makes the appearance of considering, but not substantively consider, legitimate medical and religious grounds for challenging the employer's mandate, the employer has violated EEO law, EEOC directives, as well as potentially the Civil Rights Act of 1964, depending on the issue, the Americans with Disabilities Act, and the medical issue. According to the guidance from the EEOC, I told you that things being done by organizations today have never been done before. But what I also want you to know is a number of states have created laws protecting religious rights beyond the First Amendment. Florida and Texas, for example, allow parents to opt their children out of school vaccination, citing deeply held religious beliefs or philosophical opposition.
These are all the people who lead our society elected. And what is that lesson? We have taught them simply declare the pledge.
He's trying to rely on this legal shield that committee members say belongs to the sitting president, to Joe Biden. So this is part of the debate that we'll see play out in the courts through these legal challenges, how much of this legal shield may extend to the former president. But again, that remains to be seen. Congressional reporter from the Republic. Thanks for having me.
Many wealthy countries have vaccinated more
not disclose absolutely everything. So while African knows most of the specialized ingredients that are needed, what we don't know is
In 500 feet, then keep right.
and we don't know some of the mixing times, some of the conditions of mixing and formulating. Moderna is facing growing pressure to share this know-how, including from some U.S. Congress members who note that the company got at least $1 billion in U.S. taxpayer funds to help it develop its COVID vaccine. When asked for comment, Moderna referred NPR to a previous press release, stating that the company is committed to protecting as many people as possible, and noting that Moderna plans to build its own plant in Africa, location TBD. Pfizer-BioNTech has made a similar announcement. Frida of the World Health Organization says this type of plant would have limited impact because it won't be a teaching center.
But also, this is very important. We need to make sure that it is
Little lion, baby, come, little lion.
Africans are empowered.
Otherwise, what's the guarantee the doses wouldn't be shipped to the U.S. or Europe? Still, Frida says the WHO is talking to Moderna, and he remains hopeful the company will agree to provide some kind of tech transfer. If so, it would cut the time it would take to get a manufacturer pumping out doses from 3 or 4 years down to about 2.
Half the time period.
But even that could be too late. Rasmus Beck-Hansen is CEO of Airfinity, an independent London-based analytics company. He projects that by next year, existing plants will already be providing more than enough COVID vaccines.
Turn left on 35th Street, then keep right to Gordon Avenue.
To facilitate this kind of mRNA vaccine production. But
We should think about these regional initiatives more as preparation for the next pandemic.
so he says they will definitely serve a purpose. Nareet Eisenman, NPR News.
Chances are good if you've been to the beach in the last 5 decades or so, this might ring a bell. The Maury boogie bodyboard, usually just called a boogie board or a bodyboard, you know, it's that foam board around 3 feet tall used to ride the waves.
That board was invented by Tom Maury, a pro surfer who was also an aircraft engineer, mathematician, musician, father, and husband. He died
Turn
in
left on Van Dam Street,
Time.
then turn left to I-495 West, Midtown Tunnel, toll toward Manhattan.
A piece of foam that he cut using scissors and shaped with an iron. This was by no means his only invention, but it was his most popular.
I don't think
Turn
he
right
knew
on 31st Place.
how big it was, but the people that got on the boards like myself, that it changed their lives.
In 300 feet, turn right on 48th Avenue, then turn right.
She can still remember her first ride back in 1975. And I can remember my eyes were like, had almost closed. I was laughing so hard. It was so much fun. I got out of the water. I went up to Tom's house, half a block away up on the corner. I walked in wet with the boogie board and I said, I'm in. From then on, Serrano and Maury worked together as the boogie board rode a tidal wave of global success.
Serrano attributes its popularity to that same feeling he had on his first ride. Unlike surfing, the boogie board made riding in a wave.
Turn right on 30th Place, then turn right on 48th Avenue.
People to enjoy the ocean. So when you ask me why do people today look back on him, it's because like me, he got me out of the ocean. He got dads out of the ocean.
Turn right on
dads out of the
48th
ocean,
Avenue.
dads out of the ocean. This is what he did. Maury was beloved in the community, known for his eccentricities and positive spirit.
Even in his final years, he often attended bodyboarding competitions and was on the beach.
And he always had a ukulele with him. I'd like to play a little song, break out into a song or something.
In 500 feet, turn right on 47th Avenue, then turn right.
Because that's pretty much who he was, yeah.
Turn right on 47th Avenue, then turn right on 31st Street.
No coffee.
Surfer, inventor, and the father of the boogie board. Support for NPR comes from WNYC members and from Raymond James,
a firm focused on transforming lives, businesses, and communities through tailored wealth management, banking, and capital market solutions. Learn more at RaymondJames.com. And Indeed, a hiring platform that connects businesses with candidates. Indeed partners with businesses to help attract, screen, and interview from one place. More at Indeed.com/hire. Support for WNYC comes from Brookfield Place, presenting John Richard Adams' Vales and Vespers Soundscape installation, part of the New Sounds Live music series curated by John Schaefer, now through October 24th. More at bfplny.com. Drexel University in Philadelphia. Drexel's cooperative education program can help students explore a career, build a resume, and earn a salary, all before graduation. More information at drexel.edu/ambition. Can't wait. Macbeth on Broadway, starring Daniel Craig and Ruth Negga, directed by Sam Gold. Limited engagement begins March 29th for 15 weeks. Tickets available at macbethbroadway.com.
It's WNYC. You're listening to All Things Considered. I'm Sean Carlson with Arun Danigampal from the newsroom. We are in our fall pledge drive at WNYC, and this is a critical fundraiser. We need to raise $2.3 million.
Turn right on Thompson Avenue.
Independent journalism and everything else you get from WNYC. Because listener support, and this is true, carries us like never before. We will increasingly depend on contributions from our listeners as we move forward.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left on Jackson Avenue.
Coach Queens to the beach. Upper level.
In 1,000 feet, turn left.
Charlie Choo-choo train, Charlie Choo-choo train.
In 1.1 miles, keep right to First Avenue North, FDR Drive. Estimated time in traffic, 7 minutes. In 1,000 feet, keep right to 1st Avenue North, FDR Drive. Then turn right.
Mapicast.
So you can always have WNYC with you, power or not, and you can feel good about supporting independent journalism and your local public media institution. Call 888-376-9692 or go online to WNYC.org. Most importantly, thank you.
WNYC is supported by Swan Galleries with an auction of signed photographs on October 21st. Modernist, contemporary, and early photography. Catalog and bidding at swangalleries.com and on the Swan Galleries app.
WNYC, independent journalism in the public interest. 93.9 FM and AM 820. NPR News and the New York Conversation.
Marketplace is supported by Planet, providing daily insights about Earth from space, transforming how companies and governments respond to global change. See change, change the world. Planet.com.
A non-hypothetical question in this pandemic economy. Whose job, if anyone's, is it to do something about inflation? From American Public Media, this is Marketplace.
Marketplace is supported by Raymond James. Tailored wealth management, banking, and capital markets solutions for clients' unique needs. Learn more at RaymondJames.com. And Reliance, protecting the largest companies against cyber attacks.
Keep right to 1st Avenue North, FDR Drive. Then turn right on East 62nd Street.
Reliance.com. And by GEP, helping transform supply chains with strategies, services, and software. GEP Plus and GEP Next, AI-based digital procurement and supply chain platforms.
In Los Angeles, I'm Con Rizzo. It is Tuesday's day. This one is the 19th of October. Good as always to have you along, everybody. 12 and a half days. What is that? I hear you asking? That's how long on a rolling average container ships are spending at anchor off the port of Los Angeles, waiting to pull in and unload. For those keeping track, last week when I gave you that statistics, it was 11.
Looking pasta.
So the supply side problems we are having in this economy ain't necessarily getting any better.
Joanna. Joanna.
Service of this. Today, the consumer products behemoth Procter & Gamble said it is going to raise prices on a bunch of stuff. Skincare products, oral care products, razors as well.
Joanna.
Aforementioned the transportation costs,
Joanna.
as well as a shortage of raw materials. But the company says it's going to do some inflation mitigation too. Please just know this is going with that one.
Procter & Gamble said it's identifying backup suppliers, piling up extra raw materials, even reformulating some of its products with materials that are available. Jonathan Gold with the National Retail Federation says a lot of manufacturers and retailers have been getting creative.
Manhattan, Times Square, Bye Baby, Tomato, Aguardian, little bit of everything.
Strategies can help the company control costs. David Marcotte at Kantar Consulting says companies are also trying to ensure that people are even able to find their products in the first place.
They have to have not only one plan, but two plans, three plans, an alternative to be sure that they can get products to market.
Given the backups at factories and ports, the shortage of truck drivers, and everything else that's clogging supply chains, Wendy Liebman, CEO of WSL Strategic Retail, says there's a lot to be gained from store shelves that at least appear reasonably well stocked.
Even if it's not, 6 deep on the shelf, even if it's 3 deep on the shelf.
Turn right on East 62nd Street.
Can erode the public's confidence in a store and the brand they're looking for.
And especially when you're in an essential everyday category like cleaning products, laundry detergent, paper towels, pet supplies.
And if those staples aren't available, she says that can even erode people's confidence in the entire economy. I'm Justin Howe for Marketplace.
Inflation,
Inflation all green on the major indices today. We'll have the details when we do the numbers. Should you be in the mood for some high-risk, high-volatility investing? Well, look, first of all, might I suggest you clear that idea with your financial advisor first? But assuming you get the green light, there is a crypto opportunity that might be of interest. Because as of today, you can buy an exchange-traded fund, ETF in the vernacular, that tracks Bitcoin futures. Marketplace is super sure. Explains what's going on with that. The ticker is BITO. You can look it up on the NYC and buy it just like you could Tesla or Apple or whatever other stock. But if you did buy it,
You would not actually be owning Bitcoin. You would just be speculating on the price of Bitcoin.
James Angel is a professor of finance at Georgetown. The Bitcoin ETF is based on Bitcoin futures, which are a type of contract.
Use any lane to turn left on East 63rd Street.
Value based on Bitcoin. The point is, you can invest in Bitcoin without buying a Bitcoin. Simeon Hyman is with ProShares, the firm that created the Bitcoin ETF, because it is a big step in making cryptocurrency mainstream.
Joanna. Joanna.
The more liquidity transparency will be part of the process as it matures in the box. And as it's all under government supervision. The futures market is a regulated place. That may draw in a lot of interest from investors. Taxes are what the American investors way, and there's no concern over your Bitcoin wallet getting taxed, says Amy Walsh, who represents taxpayers before the IRS.
The fact that it's on ETF is going to make people think it's safer. And that's just some green I thought about it.
She says this might attract more investors from retirement accounts and pensions, but it's still just betting on Bitcoin.
It's not what normal culture is. It's just as volatile as it ever was. It's just as up and down as it ever was. People make to lose fortunes, on a daily basis. That is not different just because it's an ETF.
Tayo. Verdamta.
In a quarter of a mile, turn left on Park Avenue. In a quarter of a mile, turn left on Park Avenue. In 1,000 feet, turn left. Turn left on Park Avenue.
Members to help, I guess, fill that gap that Sean refers to, individual donations are the biggest source of our funding. Please call 888-376-9692 or just go online to WNYC.org. And we should say, this is the time where I wish I had like a siren or something. Hard upon people how little time is left. You have 20 minutes to make a call and contribute to WNYC to really get in on this very cool offer we have for today only. We only had about 160 so Eton radios left. They're Eton crank radios. They're operated by hand, so you don't need batteries. You don't need to plug them in. They're great if you're out camping.
In 900
or,
feet,
God forbid,
turn left on Fifth Avenue.
Many of the storms we've been seeing, we'll probably be seeing more of them. If you make a sustaining monthly contribution to WNYC at the level of $10 a month, we'll be happy to...
The westbound Cross Bronx, we had a closure over 3rd Avenue. We've got a brand new closure on the westbound Cross Bronx right now, just west of White Plains Road. We are getting word this is related to the other closure because of police activity. So not a crash, but more police activity causing this shutdown on the Cross Bronx right near White Plains Road. After that, you have the remnants of a wreck over near the Sheridan, and the eastbound Cross Bronx also crawling because of a breakdown near the Broad River Parkway. Here's what you need to know about the bridges and tunnels. Citybound George, 20 minutes up, 10 to 15 down. Nothing easy on the outbound ride. Northbound Deegan, you got a sidestep, a wreck near Grand Concourse, knocking out 2 left lanes. Southbound Harlem River Drive the other way, everything closed because of a crash near the RFK. Lincoln Tunnel, we're looking at about 15 in, still 30 to 40 out. Worse if it's off of 11th over the Holland. 20 to 30 in from the Skyway, better from the Turnpike. Outbound Holland still 45 to 60 minutes at this hour in New Jersey. 22 eastbound west of Vossler Road in Bridgewater. That's an accident. You got the left lane knocked out of service. I'm Greg Rice. Our next report is 6:51 on 1010 Wave.
It's Lee Harris. My wife and I had Bath Fitter in for a free consultation. They showed us how Bath Fitter could remodel our bath in just one day, and it's guaranteed for as long as we own our home. Start designing your new bath now at bathfitterdesign.com and get 0% interest on your new bath.
5 people, including children, were rushed to a hospital this afternoon after an apparent carbon monoxide incident.
Neighborhood as 5 people are pulled from a home after being overcome by carbon monoxide. Neighbor John Pena tells Channel 7.
They're just coming and surrounding the family and, just taking the daughters and, seeing if they're both okay.
A defective oil burner inside 155 Nichols Avenue is to blame. All 5 were taken to Jamaica Hospital, but they're expected to recover. Al Jones, 1010 Wins News.
Wins News on 643. Governor Kathy Hochul says New York is preparing COVID vaccination sites for children at schools statewide. And she says parents need to start thinking about appointments now. We're already in conversation with the school superintendents, letting them know we want this offered in schools or at least in the immediate vicinity. We can come up with a parental approval slip, the permission slip that parents may need. We will make this as easy as we can for the schools. Approval for the Pfizer COVID vaccine in kids as young as 5 is expected
early next month. Wednesday's on 644. A woman is in critical condition tonight after being hit by a sanitation truck in Borough Park this morning. Police say it happened just before 9 at 11th Avenue and 73rd Street. They say the driver of the truck was making a left onto 11th Avenue, and the woman was crossing the street at the time. The driver remained at the scene. No charges were filed. The NYPD says while crime in the subway is down for the year, it's been surging the last few weeks, with robberies fueling the trend.
Subway riders we spoke with don't feel as safe as they did before the pandemic, and it's not about COVID for Sylvia.
I do not wear AirPods. I do not look at my phone. I am constantly observing where I'm standing, who's around me.
She says that's a change from her habits in 2019. This subway crime went up over 50% in September versus the same month last year. But New York City Transit Interim President Craig Cipriano says subway crime is still relatively low year to date.
What I would say is that you would expect a little bit of an uptick in some categories, given that people are coming back from the summer, more people in the system.
As of September, overall crime is down almost 14% year to date, but its stops are up nearly 35%. Samantha Leakman, 10 wins at the Times Square station.
Wednesday's on 645. Yellow taxi drivers in the city starting a hunger strike that will begin tomorrow in a bid to force the city into a debt forgiveness plan. Scores of drivers are drowning in on when the price of medallions soared to $1 million nearly a decade ago, but that price has since plunged. Ravi Desai is with the New York City Taxi Workers Alliance.
We'll be beginning with one group of hunger strikers tomorrow, and then once their bodies can no longer sustain it, we'll have the next group of hunger strikers that are waiting who would, come into the line. And so that's how we're going to continue until we reach a resolution with the city.
The hunger strike comes after a month of daily protests at City Hall. The city has proposed restructuring drivers' loans, but the drivers want debt forgiveness. The hunger strike also follows the death by suicide of some drivers. Wednesday's Sun taking its toll economically on the city. City Controller Scott Stringer projects a $111 million loss in sales tax revenue to the city because workers aren't all coming back to the office. Mayor de Blasio says that will change soon.
I think you're seeing more and more people coming back to the workplaces. A lot of businesses are pegged now November 1st.
Turn left on
The Controller's report says this hurts small business owners more, but the mayor believes there will be a shift over time. In the meantime, he says the city revenue picture overall is stable. The city is expected to generate $7 billion in sales tax revenue in 2022. Juliette Papa, 10 Wins News. Wednesday's time, 6:47. The latest poll on a potential primary in the governor's race. That story is next. The climate crisis is here. Time slipping away to stop the worst effects of global warming, and we need solutions. Hosted by me, Molly Wood, How We Survive dives deep into the economics, the tech, and the human stories behind those solutions. From billionaires trying to monopolize lithium mines to business rivalries so fierce that one CEO was dragged off a plane by federal authorities. How We Survive, following the money to the end of the world because our survival might depend on it. Listen on Odyssey and everywhere you get your podcast.
Are you looking to fund your valuables? New customers are getting 0% interest loans for up to 180 days. That's right, interest-free loans. This offer won't last long. Call or visit ProvidentLoan.com. Provident Loan, helping New York for a better future. Is wanting part of your financial strategy? New customers are getting 0% interest loans for up to 180 days. Hurry, take advantage of our best offer ever. Call or visit ProvidentLoan.com. Find out if you're eligible for this limited time offer. Provident Loan, helping New York for a better future.
Introducing the latest innovation in water technology. The new Nebia by Moen Quattro Showerhead offers 4 unique experiences to choose from, designed to soothe, clarify, relieve, and cleanse. An indulgent shower experience.
In 1.8 miles, keep right to 5th Avenue.
Water designed by life, co-designed for water. Visit Moen.com to learn more.
You know it's fun.
Ding dong dong. Ding dong dong.
lane to turn right on Central Park South.
Ding dong dong. Ding dong dong, ding dong dong. Then get in, bring water. Uh-oh. Don't break the house. Clean up, clean up. Clean up,
In a quarter of a
clean up
mile,
everything.
use the left lane
All
to
the
turn left on
crayon.
7th
Pick up
Avenue.
all the crayon. Clean up, clean up. Ding dong dong.
Turn left on 7th Avenue.
Light, light. Turn on the light. Turn on the light. New
In 1.9 miles, turn left on West 20th Street.
You wanna slap? Oh, stop crying. It lost already. That's what I'm telling you. Stop bringing toys.
Well, I'll go to the park. I'll look for the toy she forgot. I'll go bring it. Little liar forgot something in the park. Little liar forgot toy in the park. I believe it's still there. I'm gonna go check it out.
Estimated time in traffic, 7 minutes.
Hey.
Hey.
What you forgot in the park? I go look.
Roblox.
What is that?
You know her toys, the toys that you know, the unicorn, the
Oh, okay. She forgot all of them or just one?
all of them.
Really? I believe it's still there because people don't take stuff from the park.
I hope so. I didn't find it.
Oh, you were looking for it?
Yeah.
Oh.
Sometimes kids look at, you know.
I mean, I can bring some. There's many in the street now.
Yeah. Yeah, get her 3.
Okay. So it's a heart shape, square bob. Send me
Unicorn.
some. Unicorn. Okay, unicorn heart shape.
Yeah, heart, unicorn, and
I'm in Times Square now.
oh yeah.
Yeah, I see them selling them on the street. Maybe I should stop in the gift shop somewhere. But why, I mean, you left the park, you know?
Yeah.
Why you left the park? Oh, you realize after you left the park? Or?
No, I was looking, you know, I was looking and then I didn't see it.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Usually people don't touch, but maybe somebody took it.
No, you know, kids, maybe while we were playing. Oh, while we were playing. While
Unicorn.
heart, unicorn,
And
Roblox.
it's called roadblock or square pens. To me, it look like square Bob Square pens.
Yeah, I know it's called Roblox. You know, like on a game.
Yeah. Yeah, baby.
Okay, talk to Dada.
Do you want me to bring pizza or you cook?
You can bring pizza for yourself. We ate already, but I will have something for you, like a spring roll, and also I made salad. Talk to Dada.
No, I can't. There's the police here. I cannot talk.
Okay.
The police here. Let me see.
I see.
Let's see if I found it in the gift store. Next to gift store. Okay, talk to you later. Let me check the gift store. I mean, okay, stay on the line. I'll see you real quick.
Okay, Dada gonna buy you now, alright?
No, don't say buy. Say like I can find it from the store.
Dada will try to buy for you, but
Don't say buy. Say I bring it from the where she
maybe
lost.
tomorrow.
Pretend like maybe I can find it, you know. Let me take a quick look.
Yeah, this is where I always stand in your eye.
Bluetooth disconnected.
right?
Black view for your safe driving.
Oh, sorry, I just went to get something for little Aya. She wants the park. I got this little Aya, but she lost it in the park. I got it. Times Square busy. Busy.
Free lifetime healthcare. I think the biggest challenge is getting the word out there to the non-responders, the 300,000 office workers, the 25,000 downtown residents, and the 50,000 students and teachers. They were breathing the same toxic dust. They're getting the same illnesses, yet they're not enrolling in the free health program or the compensation fund.
Let's talk about people who are currently healthy. Can they also enroll?
Not only can they, but they should apply because the government requires proof that you were there. So every year that goes by, it gets harder and harder for people to prove that they were in the exposure zone. Register now. Enroll in the health program.
Yeah, you know how kids, they cry. Hope she likes it. Pretend like I go to the park and I got it back. See how I look like? It's like shape of hat.
Getting out towards the area of White Plains Road because of a number of issues going on through the area, mainly in France, and the police activity getting through is that westbound side of the crosswalk over to Sheridan. That's another wreck in the right lane. You got a sidestep eastbound. It's over to Jordan, the whole way. All those flashing lights on the other side are forward. Southbound, all of the drive closed to the RMC with a wreck. The eastbound side of the bus right over to Sheridan. The westbound center, so eastbound north of the George. That's the right that being at Grand Crossroads, the remnant of a wreck in that area.
In 1.3 miles, turn left on West 20th Street.
30 to 40 at the outbound Holland, 15 into the Skyway Center off of the new Jersey Turnpike. Eastbound LA still has the whole way over Wayne. Another truck ran into Kew Gardens. Traffic sponsored by downtown.
They put this stuff here.
When you need commitment, compassion, and customized care, call Margaret East Nursing and Rehabilitation, offering short and long-term care. Margaret East Nursing and Rehabilitation is a facility unlike any other. Call 718-298-7800. 718-298-7800.
Family action record 4 days for a live report from meteorologist Joe Curtis.
Looking mainly clear and breezy tonight. Not quite as chilly as last night. Well below 57 in the city. Upper 40s in some suburbs. Tomorrow, plenty of sunshine and a warmer afternoon. A high of 75 in the city to near 80 in some inland spots. Tomorrow night it'll be clear with a low of 58. On Thursday, remaining warm with clouds and sun. We'll have a high of 74 in the city, the upper 70s inland. On Friday, more clouds. It'll be breezy. Not quite as warm. We'll have a high around 70. On Saturday, breezy, cloudy, and cooler with a few showers. A high of 16. Looking ahead towards Sunday through early next week. It's going to be chilly with highs in the upper 50s. Right now, we're at 62 degrees in Central Park going down the road. 57 in Midtown. I'm next weather meteorologist Joe Curtis on New York's weather station 1010 Wind.
Are you paying too much for Medicare? Do you wish it included more coverage or cost-free benefits? If so, Bright Healthcare invites you to a free seminar all about Medicare Advantage plans. Bright Healthcare believes Medicare should be simple, and affordable. These free seminars will teach you how to get all the coverage of original Medicare.
Titayo,
Comprehensive dental with the new Maximum, $0 chiropractic and acupuncture visits, and much more. Benefits vary by plan, so find free seminars near you by texting NYC to 247-526. They'll help you choose
Amazing, huh?
Gamble will start charging consumers more for razors and other grooming supplies, along with skincare products and diapers. Procter & Gamble's Andre Schulten blamed the global supply chain out of whack.
We continue to see pressure on transportation and warehousing. We continue to see driver shortages, diesel increases.
The company is also facing higher costs for packaging, chemicals, and other raw materials. Schulten expected that to continue, so he couldn't say when prices would ease. P&G reported more than 5% gain in third quarter revenue to over $20 billion. News time 7:17. How clean is your chicken? Federal health officials are retaking their approach to controlling salmonella in poultry plants.
The USDA says while levels of salmonella contamination found in poultry plants in recent years has been reduced, that has not translated into a significant reduction in the estimated 1.3 million salmonella illnesses reported each year. So the agency wants to set up pilot projects that focus more on strains of salmonella that cause the most illnesses. They're also looking at steps farmers can take to reduce the bacteria or significant turkeys or slaughter, like using more vaccinations, adding more cameras to feed, and doing more to ensure that birds, bedding, and water
כן. בבלי. לומדים משהו. נטוורק, זה נקרא נטוורק. נטוורק. כן, ככה הכרתי את אליסה. ככה הכרתי את אליסה אקססורי.
אליסה אקססורי?
כן. איפה? אצל פינטו? אתה אצל פינטו?
אצל פינטו,
איפה? בברוקלין? איפה אתה?
לא, פה ב-75 בסדרה השנייה, בין הראשונה לשנייה.
הבנתי.
כמה אנשים רגילים שותים, לא פינטו, לא חרטונר, לא.
טוב מאוד.
בבוקר שם ארוחת ערב בוקר נהדרת. היום היה פשטידה אתמול היה שקשוקה, עינות,
כל מיני סוגים של גבינות, כל מיני סוגים של טונה, חריפה, טונה לא חריפה, חמוצים, פטריות,
תעשה תמונות,
אין תמונות, נראה לך, נעשה תמונות להם. עדיין.
למה לא? צלם, שנייה, מה הבא? צלם, תזמין את כל אנשי הכפר. צלם, תזמין את כל ההומלס.
נראה לך. יש אחד כזה, יש לו את השיער הארוך הזה, כמו של הכושים, הוא בכלל אשכנזי.
אוקיי, tomato time, whole food.
אתמול קיבלתי עבודה 300 דולר.
כן.
רווח 100 ומשהו דולר.
Thank you for sticking around. tomato time.
לאכול משהו. הבעיה בזה כל הזמן מביאים לי אותו אוכל במלון, נמאסתי מה. צריך לעוף משם כמה שיותר מהר.
לעוף מאיפה?
מהמלון.
תעזוב לזה.
כדי שסדרו לי דירה.